time. Very much appreciate that. There's just a few housekeeping matters I want to hit before we speak to the amazing Joshua, who's our assistant instructor today. The first housekeeping matter is happy Monday. Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. You got some time to rest, to spend time with family, do deliverables, work, play video games, whatever it was that you did. Soledad went all the way to Paris. I'm very jealous of you right now. Couple of things I just want to hit on before we start in terms of housekeeping. A few of you have reached out to me in regards to infractions that have been earned for late assignment. I'm not sorry, late for coming late to class. So one thing just to kind of clear the air is that I don't record infractions for being late. The program managers do that. So some of you have Malik, some of you have Serena, depending on if you're in LCS or LCM. So as an instructor, I only record infractions for late assignments or missing assignments. So if you email me and you say, hey, can you remove this infraction? I literally cannot because I'm not the one who records it. All right, just want to make sure that we're clear there. The reason that I think it could be confusing is because the first week I said, the first time you're late, I just do a conversation because I feel like we're just getting started. And then like that day, it was determined that program managers were going to take over recording infractions. So traditionally it was instructors, then I moved to program managers, a little bit of change on our end. So I apologize for that, any confusion that might have caused, but just moving forward for your future reference, if you get an infraction for a late, you need to talk to Serena or Malik. They're the ones that record that. I only record infractions if you miss an assignment or an assignment is delayed. So that's the first thing I kind of wanted to share. I do understand that there is a text line that you can text, like if your computer is like not working and you can't log in, do the text line. And the reason we do that is because when you get to the workforce, if you're running late for work, you would text your boss and you would say, hey, I'm going to be 2 minutes late, 5 minutes late, 20 minutes late. That's just how it goes. So typically, from what I understand, someone can correct me. I don't do that side of the business as much. If you text the line that you're going to be a few minutes late, do you still get an infraction or do you only get a warning? Can anybody raise their hand and clarify that for our colleagues? Anybody know the answer to that? I might have to just double check with Malik. Amir?
Pretty sure if you text with a heads up saying you're going to be late, you get less of an infraction, but you still get an infraction.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like if I'm running late, yeah, Jason, you have an additional comment?
I thought that if you text you're late, they'll take it from one of your half of your days that you have for your paid off vacations.
Okay. So you should just always text is what I think Jason and Amir are getting at. So like, don't text me, but text your, the hotline. My computer's not working. I'm sick. My kid is crying. The car broke down, whatever you want to say. So just make sure you do that because I don't want you to earn infractions for something that you can't control. We're living in a very challenging time. We're all locked down. We're in a pandemic. We're relying on our computers. We're relying on our Wi-Fi. So if something goes wrong, just, keep in touch. Just like in the workforce, if you're going to be late for a meeting, you would tell your boss, hey, I'm running late. I'm going to be a few minutes late. Yeah, Alan.
Hey, good morning, Eric. Before we get into the lesson plan and all that, I had sent an email and I was asking if you can send the Zoom link for this meeting room because I need it for my business writing class.
Yeah, Alan, thank you so much. I did get your email. I'm glad you brought that up because it's actually the next agenda item. So first of all, the meeting link, I think you all should have it because you're on it right now. So someone just copy and paste the link into the chat box for people who have to do the calendar marker. So yep, there it is. Thanks to Candor. It's my name, Eric Hoke. So that's our Zoom link for this class. So for those of you who have that business communications deliverable with Kara, I believe, is that right, Alan? Kara's your instructor? Not Vanessa. Yes, thank you, sir. So those of you who are in Kara's BC class, that is my link. Some people had actually reached out to me over the weekend asking me to send them calendar markers for this class. And I actually don't do that. And the reason I don't do that is because I taught you last week how to make calendar markers. So if you're like, I don't remember how to do that, there's a YouTube video, go back and watch. Office hours today at 3:15 if you want to talk through it. but I don't think that I should be the one making calendar markers when we learn in class how to make calendar markers. So I personally don't do that because I look at it as this is your deliverable. So you can go ahead and make them. It's very easy. If you don't remember how, join me at 3:15. Office hours at this link, the one Sikander just put in. I'll be here hanging out, and you can ask me how to make a calendar marker, and I'm more than happy to talk with you through that again. Next housekeeping matter, sorry, I have a lot of announcements today, is I was not in Friday feedback on Friday because I was taking the day off, but I did see the feedback that some people mentioned in LCM that they would like more runway for deliverables, and I totally understand that feedback. And what I try to do, as you probably have noticed, is the majority of deliverables that you're going to receive in this class, you actually will find out about them the week before. So like I emailed everybody on Thursday, the weekly roundup email. That's when I opened Schoology, and you can see the majority of your deliverables already on Thursday, and the first one's not even due until Tuesday. So that gives you Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday to do your deliverable. And then once a week, I'll throw in typically a IT help desk scenario. And I typically do that pretty last minute. The reason I do that is because when you go to the workforce and you get an IT ticket, you don't have 5 days to deliver on that. You typically have a 24-hour window where you have to get it done. If you let a ticket sit for 5 days, it's gonna not reflect well on you or your department. So I do that because I want to make this scenario as real life as possible. So I do understand that maybe it's challenging for some people. Maybe you have to work that day. Maybe you have to take your kid to daycare. Maybe you have to take care of grandma, whatever you got going on. If that's the case, please, 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 I'm telling you guys, just email me, say, listen, Eric, I can't get the deliverable done tonight that you assigned this morning. I got this going on. And guess what I'm going to tell you? I'm going to say, I totally understand. Not a problem at all. I'm going to extend it for another 24 hours so that you can take care with what you have to take care. All right. Because we're all humans. We all have lives outside of Europe. I totally am cognizant of that. So that's you. Please, please get in the habit now of advocating for yourself and say, listen, I can't get it done because of X. No problem. We'll make it work. The same with the longer form deliverables too. If you find out on Monday that, you know what, it's deliverable on Thursday, it's really intensive, I got a really busy week, I'm not going to be able to get it done. If you email me on Monday and say, listen, Eric, my kid is sick, I'm working extra shifts at my job, and my Wi-Fi has been really spotty because the building's not been taking care of our Wi-Fi really well, whatever the case might be. If you say, okay, that said to me on Monday for deliverable due Thursday, I'll say, of course, take as much time as you need. Thank you for letting me know. And I'll give you some flexibility. But if you come to me on Thursday at 4 p.m. for something that's due on Thursday at 11:59 p.m. and you knew about it since Monday, I probably won't have as much grace. And why is that? Because you knew about it for the last 3 days and you decided the day of to tell me, oh, wait, I can't get it done because of X, Y, and Z. And why do I do that? I do that because in the workforce, when you have something that's due, if you find out about it and you look at your calendar, you're like, oh gosh, this is going to be really, really tough to get done in this time frame. If you go to your manager and you say, listen, for these reasons, I'm going to really struggle to get this done in this time frame. He or she, if they're a reasonable person, will probably say to you, okay, like, listen, I get it. Let's extend it, through Friday or through Monday or through whatever. But if you just sit on it for 3 or 4 or 5 days and then go to them, a few hours before it's due and say, bad news, I didn't get it done. It's not going to reflect well on your brand. It's not going to reflect well on the person that you want to be professionally. So everything that I do, to be your instructor and to help you along on the journey, there's a reason behind it. And the reason is because my goal for you is 2 years from now, 4 years from now, 10 years from now, you call me and you say, Eric, guess what? I just got promoted as a director at Salesforce and I'm moving to California. I just want to thank you so much for everything that you've done for me. I want you to call me in 10 years and say, Eric, guess what? I'm getting married and me and my partner are not going to be paying a penny in debt because we're going to pay for it with cash because we've been able to accumulate wealth together. I want you to call me and say, hey, guess what, Eric? I just closed my first home and I'm so excited to be moving, out of my parents' place. Like, that's what I want for you. All right. I want you that to be your story. So that's why maybe you feel like, gosh, why is Eric so tough on me sometimes? It's because I want what's best for you. And I want you to walk into the workforce and be like, listen, I know how this works because Eric trained me and helped me understand how to do this. So that is my speech. Any questions or comments about that? Everything makes sense? So, all right. All right, thank you. You're welcome. But I'm gonna say that's it. You know, like I want to prepare you. I don't want you guys to walk into your internship and be like, oh wait, what do you mean I can't tell my manager an hour before something's due that's not done? Like that's not good. Like let them know in advance. And Alan, is your hand from earlier or is that just from even new question?
Sorry, that was from earlier.
No problem. All right, so if there's no questions or comments, those are all my announcements. Thank you all for listening and indulging me. With that said, my camera just moved. Apologies. Let's go to Joshua. Are you here, Joshua?
Yeah.
How are you, sir?
Not bad. I developed TMJ during the weekend, so it was had to deal with that.
What TMJ?
It's something with your jawbone that connects your lower jaw to your skull.
Okay.
It I had it like during the weekend. I couldn't open up my jaw past a certain point, so I had to eat like soup and porridge. Yeah. It's gotten a lot better. It's some medicine. It's different from lock. It's kind of like lockjaw, but
yeah,
it's like not the like muscle part here. It's like the hinge or something like that. So yeah, it's gotten better. I'm able to actually like talk and chew a little bit, but during the weekend I couldn't even like I had to talk like this. So I couldn't move my mouth. Yeah.
Oh man, so sorry to hear. That sounds really painful.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Well, hey, we won't make you talk too much today to save your jaw. But why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, or something interesting about you?
Well, I was born in Queens, raised in Brooklyn since I was like 5. I lived in Bed-Stuy and like by Cusk. I know there's like different pronunciations. I call it for the longest time when I was young, I called it Kosciuszko, but apparently the train station, like the voice, is called it Kazusko. I still never changed it. I always called it Kosciuszko. So I lived there from up until I was, let's say 17, 18, and then moved to like another part of Brooklyn. And then from there, Canarsie, and then from there to where I'm at now, is Jamaica, Queens.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And my mom's from St. Vincent. My dad was born here. So I'm like, I guess, part Vincentian. And I say an interesting thing about me was that I used to longboard a lot when I was younger as a form of exercise. My brother, my friend, they skateboarded, and then I ended up skateboarding with them, but I was not trying to get hurt. So I just rode around, and then we all got longboards. So from, I think, high school up until like, I guess a certain point in college, I used to longboard from Brooklyn to Manhattan as a form of transportation.
Whoa.
It was fun. I miss it.
I was going to say, you probably were in great shape. That's a good ride.
Yeah. Never better shape.
Would you go over what bridge would you go over to get to Manhattan?
We would switch between the Manhattan Bridge and I forgot the other one. There was not the was it Brooklyn Bridge? Manhattan Bridge and Brooklyn Bridge? I think there was like 3 of them.
Yeah, the Queensboro Bridge.
Yeah, Williamsburg Bridge.
Williamsburg Bridge, yep.
Yes, but then I can't remember. There's the one was like I think the Brooklyn Bridge is the one that's like has a bunch of tourists on it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so it was Manhattan Bridge and Williamsburg Bridge.
Cool.
But I would say the first time I went on the Brooklyn Bridge, I had hit a rock and my skateboard ended up flying into the traffic side.
No
Luckily,
way.
it didn't hit any cars, but my board got totaled, so I had to walk.
Yeah. That sounds really painful.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's really cool. Okay, so I know it's funny because New York City, people that grew up here, I think a lot of us in this room did. We don't realize like what an incredible city we live in. I mean, really and truly, I know it's easy to complain about the million of things there are to complain about in New York City, but like what Joshua just said, like people come from like all over the world just to walk over the Brooklyn Bridge. You know what I mean? And like we can just go there right now and ride our longboard or skateboard or bicycle or walk over it. Like it's pretty amazing. But you know, I appreciate you sharing that. One last thing, Joshua, before we let you go and let your jaw rest. What question do you want to propose to our group?
What is one thing you did when you were younger that you would still like to be doing now?
Ah, very cool, very cool. So in the chat box, one thing that you did when you were younger that you wish you could still be doing now. Joshua, what's one thing you wish you could still be doing?
I think it would be, I guess, hanging out with my friends on the block. That's one thing I miss when I was, now that I'm older, because it was when I was young, everybody used to just come together, and it was like pre-internet days. So it was, I mean, we still had internet. It was like dial-up, but nobody had time for that. So
Right.
everybody would just go outside and have fun. So I think that's one thing I miss.
Yeah, I hear you. I certainly miss like the analog days of, you know, pre-fast internet and having a computer in our pocket. That was definitely, very different experience. So I'm looking at the chat here. We got playing basketball, sleeping in. Yes, Sikander, check to that. Drawing, not paying the bills. Yeah, seriously. Playing basketball, taking a nap in the middle of the day, being stress-free, sleeping, handball, drawing, biking, kickball, going to Chuck E. Cheese. I love it. Journaling and writing, for sure. For sure. You know, it's funny how I don't know what it is. Like life just gets in the way of a lot of things that we tend to enjoy. But I would hope all of us would take time. I mean, a lot of things we wrote here, like biking or playing handball, like you can still do those things through adulthood. I mean, it might be a little bit harder too, but it certainly is possible. I mean, just to give you an example, I rode my bike to work this morning because I was like, why not? It's really windy, but it was fun. And it's just a nice way to start off the day. I had no stamina anymore. Yeah, for sure. And I wore my mask the whole time. So, well, anyways, great question, Joshua. Thank you so much for being our assistant instructor. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So we spent a good amount of time talking about Outlook. This unit, we're going to be talking about Word and PowerPoint. I actually combined these two together because I found that most people have at least a general knowledge on how to use these applications, and it's not really worth spending a whole lot of time on. And believe it or not, if you did not see my email, we actually are going to be discussing the midterm this week, which is really hard to believe, but Mod 1 is already halfway over at the end of this week. So time really does fly here at Year Up. You'll have Mod 2 and Mod 3, then internship. So we'll talk about that more probably towards Wednesday and Thursday. But in the chat box, do me a favor, answer this question. When might you use Word in the workplace? You can either put in the chat box or raise your hand. But when might you use it? Or how might you use it? Could be another way to frame it. So Daily, Tyrell says, Tyrell's correct. Meetings for sure. Soledad, muting yourself and answering that. Like, why would you be using Word for a meeting?
So you can have like a structure of what you're trying to say or present.
Yeah, to keep the thoughts focused. Thank you so much. Sean says writing notes. Definitely. What kind of notes do you take at work, Sean?
Like if your boss is like telling you like a problem or something, like your objective for the day, you might write down like what you have to do so you don't forget it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. It's good to have those things written down. I love it. I see Jason's hand.
What I wrote was to like make a blueprint of an important message that you're supposed to send out to everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. One thing I will say is that some of the internship seats you'll go to will use Google Docs. We're not going to spend a significant amount of time talking about that, but that's also a good tool to be comfortable with as well. But it's very similar to Word, almost the same. Yeah, Izzy?
Yeah, quick question. Now that you mentioned Google Docs, are most office space going to have Chrome operating systems?
It's a good question. It depends on your internship. It just varies depending on where you end up. So I'm finding that, yeah, I'm just finding it varies. But Word is good to know because if you know Word, then you can figure out Google Docs pretty easily. Yeah. Jason?
My question pertains to if we do use Google Docs in the workplace, what email will we use, or will we be giving a new email?
You'll be given a new email when you start your internship. Yeah. So you'll be like Jason D at, wherever you end up, facebook.com. So, yep. All right. So let's go ahead and test out your word knowledge. I apologize for some of you, this might be a little bit elementary, but let's get an idea of where we're at. So open up Word on your computer, type in your name and your favorite food. We're going to start with the basics. When you're done with that, give me a green check.
Sorry, Eric, you said your name and what else?
Your favorite food. It's also in the chat box, Kayla.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I see a few green checks. All right. Looks like pretty much everyone has got it. Now, step 2, bolden your favorite food, then italicize, underline, and change the color. Once you do that, give me a green check. 4, 5, 6. I see about 12 green checks. Let's get to 20. All right. Now, insert a picture of your favorite food into your doc. You can go onto Google, search taco, whatever your favorite food is.
What if my favorite food is not on Google?
What's your favorite food?
It's like some rice that my grandmother cooks. I don't think it's like on Google.
Okay, I just type in rice.
All right.
I see a few green checks. I'll give you about 30 more seconds, and then you got to find a picture. All right, looks like you guys are pretty good at this so far. Now it's time to separate the pros from the rookies. All right, here we go. Add a border and make the page blue. This is where folks are like, wait, how do you do this again?
Can you repeat that, please?
Yep, it's also in the chat, just so you know. But you're going to add a border to your document, and you're going to make the whole page blue.
Make just the border blue, right? Not like the entire page.
Nope, the entire page blue. All right. Anybody want to show off their word skills and share their screen and show us how you did it from A to Z? How about Sikander? The floor is yours. Show us how you did it from the first step of writing your name and favorite food all the way down to changing the color and putting a border. The floor is yours, sir.
Sikander, you're muted.
You're on mute. hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. So obviously you add your name, your favorite food, then highlight to make it bold, italicized. You can either just click the three up there. You can press Control BUI. That's the shortcuts for bold, italicized, underline. You search for your favorite picture. You can either copy, save as, or use the snipping tool, paste it. There's also the settings to change how it aligns with the text. And then the last one is the page color. You go to design, page colors right here. Pick whatever you want, and then the page borders is right next to it. Pick which page border you want.
Great. That looks like a very delicious pepperoni pizza. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of hungry. This is what I had for breakfast today. It's not quite cutting it after seeing that picture. So thanks, Sikander. Appreciate that. Let's go to Raphael. Do you want to show us how you did it?
Oh yeah, sure. Give me 1 moment.
No problem.
Essentially the same thing, but give me a moment.
Yep. It's just good to see different people's, workflows. And keep in mind, Sikander, you did a great job sharing. But let's just go ahead, Raphael. And when you explain it, just assume that there's people in the room who this is new to. So just just try to speak in a way where it's like start from the basics.
All right. So first things first. Name. Easy as that. Just type it out, Raphael Argueta. In terms of bolding, italicizing, underlining, basically all up here. Same with colors. You can also highlight if you really wanted to. Like a little special. Yeah. Oh well. Now you can't see it. And then in terms of the changing the color and the border, you go to I believe it was design. Yep, you go design up here. Go to page color. Pick whatever page color you want. You can do really anything. And borders, you got tons of borders to pick. Boom. Yeah, that's basically it.
Great. Thanks, Raphael. I'm seeing in the chat there's some conversation about the Office 365. Is anybody able to do what we see here on 365, or is that design tab not available? Can someone raise their hand and clarify? I see a lot of raised hands, but can someone confirm or deny that there is a design tab? Matthew Santos.
I use the Word application.
Okay. Then you're able to do it. Is there anybody who used 365 that was able to do the design in Soledad? Were you able to?
No, I can't find the design. I'm on my Word on the email.
Okay, got it. So maybe it might not be possible because I know that the doesn't have all the functions on Office 365. It might not have the design tab, so that would make sense. Yeah, Eduardo.
I don't know if this will help, but you got to go to File and then Options, and you got to check on like Customize ribbon. You got to check the Design tab.
Oh, is that on 365? You can do that?
I don't know, but I did it on Word a while back.
Okay. Yeah, it might be there. Someone can let me know in the chat box if that works.
Yeah, it could just be me. I don't know.
Yeah, so sometimes what happens with 365 is there's a limited number of capabilities. Yeah, not on 365, Megan says. That's fine. That's helpful to know in terms of doing our deliverable for this week. But thanks for the heads up. By the way, Eduardo, I like your background. Are you a fan of that podcast?
Yeah. I made it over the weekend.
Nice. I love it. And also, I'm just like really curious. Salmon is your favorite food, Raphael? That's amazing.
Yeah.
You're on mute, Raphael.
Yeah. I really like salmon a lot. Just a food I liked.
Yeah, I wish my favorite food was healthy food. I mean, I like salmon, but I also just eat it 'cause it's good for me.
Salmon's tasty.
It is. Yeah, it definitely is tasty. It was one of our go-to meals in our house. Is at least once a week we eat salmon, rice, and broccoli. So can't go wrong with that.
Now you're making me hungry.
Yeah, me too. I'm really hungry. All right, what we're gonna do is this. It's 11 o'clock. Let's take 15 minutes, watch this video, and come back at 11:15. Does that sound good? Go order your pizza. All right, folks, it's 11:15. Let's make our way back on camera. In the chat box, can you put something about that video on how to make a poster in Word that you found interesting or helpful, or something that you want to implement in your own experience in the chat box? What was one takeaway you have from that video? Good point, Davian. Yeah, reminds you of Photoshop. Yeah, making the text box more transparent, transparency of the text, for sure. So I do understand there are some capabilities that are limited for those of us on 365. That's totally fine. You can still create, an interesting looking flyer, even without the design elements present. However, for those of you who want to really submit a deliverable that doesn't use Word, I'm actually going to give you the opportunity, for those of you who are familiar with this website, canva.com. Do you guys know Canva? I'm sure you're familiar with it. Canva.com is a great website. It's free. I don't know if it's /com. Sorry about that. So for those of you who are on 365 or would rather do your deliverable tonight or tomorrow night, rather, whenever it's due, I have to double check. On Canva, that's an option as well. You don't have to use Word if you don't want to. So I just want to be cognizant that not everybody has the Photoshop is fine too, but Word is a good place to start, and we're actually going to spend time focusing on Word today. So what I want you to do is we're going to get into a breakout here in a moment, and what I want you to do with your team is pick a brand or a company and create a one-page flyer about them. People always ask this question, and the answer is yes. You can do year up if you feel so compelled. But basically, I just want to make sure that their logo is on there and their mission statement is on there, and there's like some sort of like graphic on there, making sure that we use consistent colors and fonts. So what you're going to do is you're going to get into your team and you're going to say, okay, what company are we going to do? Are we going to do year up? Are we going to do Nike? Are we going to do Apple? Or what are we going to do? Someone's going to pull up their screen using Word and go ahead and work together to make the best flyer that you can and to bring back into the main room. Yes, one per group. This is a chance to practice for our deliverable, which will be due this week. Are there any questions on what we're doing? You can go ahead and raise your virtual hand. It's just one per group. It's a chance to work collaboratively. The groups will be relatively small, about 3 to 4 people. All right, going once, going twice. Okay. In the chat box, how much time do you need to do this deliverable, you think? Kayla, I saw 3 hours minimum. All right, I see 10 minutes. 10 minutes it is. See you all back at 11:28. Enjoy. All right, everyone, welcome back. Got a few more folks making their way. Here we all are. Great. I know that wasn't a whole lot of time, but that was just an opportunity for you to practice with your colleagues. Is there somebody who is very proud of their 10-minute design and wants to share with the group? You can go ahead and raise your virtual hand and you can brag about how good you are. All right, Mr. Davian, the floor is yours.
All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
All right, so I had the pleasure of working with Rashi and Franklin, and the brand that we decided to do was Nike. We collectively came up with this picture. We really like the black and white and gray theme to it. Added the mission statement right under, and just a little check at the bottom to add a little bit of flavor to it as well.
Excellent. Excellent. Know what I love about this, great job, is that they stay consistent with the colors and the themes. You see, everything's black and white. You know, Colin Kaepernick's face is gray. Like, it's all on point. If they were to have like yellow text, like that would look a little off. So yeah, great job, your team. I love that. Thank you so much. Anybody else want to share what they did in their group? Don't make me do it. I hate cold calling people. Sikander. Yes, sir.
Ours is a little bit on the rough side still, but
That's okay.
Tesla, I worked with, drawing a blank here, Brandon and Miguel. And we picked Tesla, so their mission statement is accelerating the world's transition to sustainable energy. It's sustainable energy up top. You know, Tesla is well known for their cars, along with the solar panel roofs. We also changed the size of the printed paper to the A4, like the lady did in the video. Got the logo.
It's awesome. Awesome. You know what I love about this too, Sikander and your team, is you guys notice how like the color of that sunset is like that beautiful yellow. And then look at the color of the paper in the back. It's also yellow. If it would look white, it just look a little bit off. So that was a good attention to detail. Yeah, I mean, great. And also just for clarity's sake, like this isn't supposed to be your final product. This is just a chance for you to practice with your colleagues. I love it. So Sikander, question for you. Would you buy a Tesla one day if you could? The
I mean, I bought and sold the stock a couple of times. Oh, the car, yeah, I think so.
So would I. That's like one of my dream cars. So maybe one day. Not in the city though. Yeah, probably would not want to have a Tesla in the city. But a black Model X is like my dream car. Awesome. Thank you so much, Sikander. How about one more person? Izzy?
Yes, I will share. Let me share my screen real quick. Something nice and simple, not too much, not too flashy, but something I like. So what we chose with my group was consist of Mariah, Sikander, and Alan. And we chose the company Bicycle that provides no cards. We chose it because I like shuffling cards during my classes to focus. It was a nice black and white background with the King's Work logo, because when I think about Bicycle, I usually think about like the hierarchy of kings and queens. And on the bottom, we would say that we have a little statement to say the correct way to play cards.
I love it. I love it. This is really cool. I never even knew there was like a brand like this. Let's check this out. You have me sold. Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Excellent. Perfect. See, the colors are consistent. I mean, it's simple. It doesn't have to be, super fancy. Just something like this is great. Thank you, Izzy. Thank you, team.
No problem.
Appreciate it. So let's just spend the last 10 minutes or so of class discussing deliverables. One of the deliverables that you'll see, which is due tomorrow night, is making a flyer for an employee resource group. Now, does anybody here want to raise their hand, tell me and tell us what is an employee resource group? What is an ERG? Does anyone know what that term means in corporate America? Okay, no, that's okay. No one knows. An employee resource group is an organization that is kind of like a club for your job. Okay, so it could be any sort of affinity that people have, a commonality where they can link up with people who have similar interests as they do. All right, so like for example, I'm in a employee resource group called Working Caregivers, and it's designed for people who have maybe young children like I do, or people who have aging parents, but people who are working while also taking care of somebody else. And we meet about once a month and we talk about, some of our challenges and some of our successes. And it has nothing to do with Year Up, other than that we all work at Year Up. All right. So it's really a common thing, and most companies that you go for will have ERGs. There's actually Year Up ERGs at some of our larger partners, or Year Up alumni and interns come together maybe once a month and discuss, their Europe experience. So here's an example of a flyer that someone made in the last class. So this is the deliverable that's due, is that you have to think of an employee resource group that you want to do and create a flyer that you would hang up in the break room at your job. So this particular student, Jalissa Lopez, she loves to dance. Okay, so what does she do? She has this nice image of a person dancing, and it's called Dance the Stress Away. When is it? It's Fridays from 4 to 6. Who's invited? Anybody who loves to dance. Where are they going to be? Room 31B. And basically, this is a perfect example of what an A would look like. All right, this is a interest that this person has, and she's creating a flyer trying to generate more people to come to her dance group. All right, it's like, but obviously I understand Jalissa is a very talented creative person. She has a lot of skill and ability. Not everyone's flyer is going to be as nice as this, and I totally get it. The biggest thing that I'm looking for is it actually an employee resource group? Okay, I had someone submit a deliverable last class where it was like an advertisement for like a Nike shoe. And I'm like, well, that's cool and everything, but that's not an employee resource group. That's something you put on your foot. So I want you to take a moment and think about what is an interest that I have, and what is a group that I can make for my imaginary employee resource group. So Alan, I think you had your hand up first. So let's go ahead and hear from you and then Jason.
Okay, so just for kind of clarification for these employee resource groups, could it be seen as in simpler terms, like a more common term, as like a group activity?
Yeah. Look at like a club, right? That's probably the easiest way to describe it. So what's something that you're interested in that you would want to get people at work also interested in that you would do together? So maybe your club is like, I love to play World of Warcraft. So we're gonna have a World of Warcraft, employee resource group for people here that work here at Year Up, or work here at Google, or work here at fill in the blank. That's exactly what we're looking for. Is that helpful, Alan? Great, thank you, sir. Any other questions on what I'm looking for here? I see there's a lot of things in the chat. I do not play World of Warcraft. No, I don't play any video games, but I wish I had time to, but I also have a lot of other things going on. Yeah, Michael.
Yes. I have a question. Can it be whatever group, like for example, be like a car meet, like it can be like a car club or something, the team?
Yeah, Michael, I'm glad you asked that question. It's an important question. It can be whatever group that you want, and it should be professional for work, okay? So don't be like, just be professional. I'll just leave it at that, all right? You guys can use your imagination, but I don't want to see anything that's like, okay, that's not appropriate. So a car club, a bowling team, someone last time it was like, we're gonna have a Bible study for people that want to study the Bible at work, whatever you want to do, like it's fine. You have the creative, ability to do what you want as long as it's professional, a workout group, a yoga group, whatever you think. So.
Thank you.
A longboarding group, going back to the earlier conversation. But obviously it should be professional, it should be for work. So imagine something that you're interested in that you would want to share a flyer with. Any other questions on what an ERG flyer is? Show the example again, sure. There you go. So this is a group that she had to have a dance group at work. Yeah, Audrey?
Is there something in a specific that we are not supposed to put?
Anything that's like that's not appropriate. So like I would not want you to say, hey, we're gonna have a hookah ERG. Like that's not appropriate. All right. Stuff like that. So just stay away from vices. We'll leave it at that. Is that helpful, Audrey? Okay, great. Yeah. I know you're all a smart group and no one will do that, but we have to say it because it's happened in the past. So let's not have an awkward conversation about why it's not appropriate for work. We're all mature adults here. All right. No, this is a solo project. So this is due tomorrow night on Schoology, you creating a flyer of an employee resource group. So you have all day today and all day tomorrow to complete. Any further questions before we go on to the next deliverable? Let's go ahead and copy and paste. I'm going to make Joshua share this because I know he's not feeling great. So that's the first part. The next thing is the Steve Jobs keynote. So that's your discussion board for the week. Watch that. 250 words. What stood out to you? So remember the discussion board always has two parts. The first part is you writing the original post and then responding to two people, at least 100 words by Thursday. And then the break time slide, we'll chat more about that on Wednesday. That's to do with PowerPoint. So any questions on deliverables before we say have a great afternoon? Yes, the employee resource group is what you're interested in. Yep. I mean, if you want to do something you're not interested in, that's fine too, but probably be more fun if you did something that you actually cared about. Yeah, Tyrell?
For the PowerPoint deliverable, the break time slide, for other people in the group, will you be going over a bit of PowerPoint tomorrow to help them out?
Yeah, PowerPoint will be what we'll talk about tomorrow on Wednesday. Yes, sir.
No problem. Just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. Yep. Good question, Jesus.
In the beginning of class, you said something about midterms. Is there going to be any sort of material for us to study for it?
Yeah, really good question. We'll talk more about that on Wednesday and Thursday. But the midterm is not an exam. So what the midterm is going to be you creating a project, putting together everything we've learned so far in class. Okay, but it's not going to be an exam, and you're going to have a good amount of time to do it. I understand your spring break is this week, and to be honest, like I don't want to make you guys work on your spring break because, well, that's just really mean. So I'm going to give you your midterm. I'm going to give you like a full week to knock it out. So we're going to have plenty of time to practice and to work together to make it happen. So yes, you guys are all so nice. I'll put my Venmo in the chat and you can send $5 when you get a minute. All right. I want to buy my pizza because I saw that pizza earlier and it made me really hungry. All right. So, but don't worry, you'll have plenty of time to discuss midterm and I'll give you plenty of time to do it. We'll even have class time to do it as well. All right. Because I want everyone here to be successful. All right. Any other questions, guys, before we say farewell? All right. I appreciate you all. Stand up, stretch your body, drink water, and enjoy your lunch break. And I'll see you tomorrow. Okay.
Have a good
Thank
one.
you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good one, everybody.
Professor, have a
Bye,
good day.
Eric.
Janet.
Hey Eric, I have a question
Yeah,
about
Michael.
the deliverable.
Mhm.
So I told you that I forgot to. I didn't know that I was supposed to submit a deliverable, but I submitted it late, and you said you were going to give me half credit, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen my grade yet, so I was wondering when are you going to grade it?
When did you submit it, Michael?
So the calendar event was due on March 18, and I submitted it on March 23rd.
Yeah, let me go ahead and look really quick on Schoology while we're chatting.
Sure.
Just give me a second. What deliverable was it, Michael? Sorry.
Calendar screenshot event.
The counter screenshot. Okay, gotcha. How was your weekend, Michael?
It was pretty good. The weekend passed really fast.
That's
I didn't
usually
even
how
get to do anything.
That's how it goes, right?
Yeah.
All right, let me go ahead and update your grade. Yep, there it is. I see it. Okay. All right, you're good. I updated your grade.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So my question is, because I'm not confused. I know what to do, but it's like, I just wanted to let you know when with my computer, so I have Word and I can edit it on a Word file, but the only problem is when I like copy the file, it's going to come out on WordPad. And so I'm just letting you know ahead of time. And is like that gonna be a consequence on my part?
No, not at all, Rashid. That's fine as long as it has I can see the work you've done. You'll be fine.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right.
Have a great rest of the day.
All right. You too.
Daniel, do you have a question?